My search starts here, at the temple of Abu Simbel. It turns out that this great Egyptian monument is in fact in Nubia, built at a time when the ancient Egyptians ruled it. Most Egyptologists aren't that interested in Nubia, but I found one who's passionate about it. Bassam el-Shama thinks that Nubian history has been ignored for far too long.
Ramesses II, about 1250 BC, a man who ruled our country for about 66 years and 2 months, because that's documented, actually decided him and his very dedicated workers to come here and carve, hewn off the cliffs, a temple dedicated to the Nubian deities.
Huh.
Normally, in temples of Ramesses and other pharaohs, you would find a very typical classic scene of the pharaoh smiting his captives of war using a mace head, and that's showing his domain and his vigorosity. But in this temple, as I'm going to show you now, we found the facial features of the statues, which was hewn off the cliffs, especially the family that he is introducing to the Nubian brothers and sisters. He's showing his mother, he's showing his daughters. And one of the best examples of this is Our Lady here. First of all, we notice how the facial features are typically Nubian. And then you've got the hairstyle, the Nubian style, the Afro style. And that, of course, the style that all the queens of Egypt wanted to be in the afterlife. And we know that the Nubians were always referred to in ancient Egypt as a sign of beauty. One of the ancient lyrics go, I wish my lover was a Nubian. So that is exactly the attraction of the face itself.
I have to admit that I like the idea that the daughters of the pharaoh wanted to look like Nubian princesses, even if it was to persuade the people here to worship them. Bassam, I don't want to interrupt your narrative, but I have to ask you this. How come you know so much about Nubia, man? You must be the blackest Egyptian I've ever seen.
Nubia doesn't have to make any effort for anybody to fall in love with her. She's a beautiful culture. She's a beautiful, informative culture. She gave us a lot. And when I came down from Alexandria to Aswan, to the beginning of the heart of Nubia, I decided I want to learn the language, I want to learn the songs, I want to learn the dances, and most importantly, I want to know about those people, about their lives, about their history, about their culture, because they're part of me.
So you can marry one of the women, huh?
Exactly. if I got lucky.
This temple itself got lucky. In 1964, when the Egyptians started to build the Aswan Dam, it was moved here, block by block, to save it from being drowned. The Aswan Dam is modern Egypt's greatest engineering project, bringing electricity and water to the entire country. But it devastated Nubia, flooding 500 square miles of its land. When I look out over this lake, all I can think about is what we can't see. All the history of an ancient civilization that's been lost. Many of the people displaced by the dam now live in and around the city of Aswan. They still call themselves Nubians and are fiercely proud of their culture and history.
Surprise to me on this whole trip.
There's even a program on local television called Nubian Treasures, hosted by Ezra Dahab.
Stunningly beautiful. You know, I'm an African American, and African Americans are all colors, sizes, and shapes. When I look at the Nubian people on this boat, it's the same. They're all colors.
Yes.
Some are dark, some are light.
But not all of them is Nubian, but I think it's most of them are Nubians. But Nubians have some special features of the face, of the color. But if I can see you, I can say if you are Nubian or not. Not only from the color, I think it's from the soul.
The soul?
Yes, from the soul.
How about me?
I think you are Nubian. Deeply Nubian, yes. You look like Nubian men here in Aswan.
I do, really?
Yes, I think so. And most of them saying Salam Alaikum, good morning to you. They think that you are from Aswan and you're Nubian.
I like it. You know, African Americans are obsessed with Nubia. They love Nubia. They want to. They don't even know where Nubia is, but the one thing they know is that black pharaohs and it ran Egypt. they think that it's the greatest of all the black peoples, the Nubian people.
Yes, because Nubia is a part of Africa, and the American African people, they are a part of Africa. I think their hearts, although they are living in America, I think their hearts, a piece of their hearts is still in Africa.
Ezra has brought me to the only Nubian village that survived the flood. It's called Garb Eswan. Oh, the fruit is nice, huh?
This village, I can say that it looks like the traditional Nubian village. All the Nubians are like the Nubians in the ancient villages. They still, till now, talking with the Nubian language. They still, till now, wearing the Nubian clothes. They still, till now, having their tradition in all the occasions of their life, traditions on wedding and celebrating.
They say the same.
Yes, yes.
Since the loss of their land, younger Nubians like Ezra are determined to preserve their own language and culture and want to find out more about their ancient history.
This area which the Nubia, the real Nubia, was there. And now it's under the water. Yes, because the water covered every place there. Just the monuments, we could save it, and the people.
When I was a little boy, and the dam was being built, it was famous. People talked about it all over the world. But the black Americans in my hometown were very angry because they said it was racist. And I remember a woman, a school teacher, started a campaign to try to save Nubian culture because she said that the only reason they were building it here was to bury Nubian culture because Nubians were the black people. Does it make you angry that Nubian civilization is buried under that lake?
Not angry, but it makes me sorry. Because I dreamed that one day I could visit this place. I dreamed that if I could have the chance to live even one day in the ancient Nubia, because my father told me many things about it, my grandfather and mother, and all the history books, or all the books which talking about the Nubia. And when I see the pictures of the Nubia and the palm trees which the water is covering till the end, sometimes I cry.
Yeah. Ezra wanted me to see where most Nubians live today. Balana was one of the villages specially built by the government 35 years ago for refugees from the flood. How far from the river are we?
From the river? Yes, it's about 2 kilometers out. It's not on the river.
No.
No, it's not on the river directly. No.
So it's a long way?
Yes. Yes. They lost their close relationship with the Nile. Because in the ancient Nubia, most of the houses were on the Nile. Just a few steps to let your feet touch the Nile waters.
68 tourists were killed by Islamic terrorists just a few weeks before I arrived, so security is tight. To be honest, I'm not sure who I'm more afraid of, these guys or the terrorists.
ازيك يا فوزية؟
اهلا اهلا وسهلا
ازيك؟
اتفضل
Assalamu alaikum.
عليكم السلام ورحمه الله
This is
وبركاته
Fawzia.
اتفضلوا
Ezra was determined that I would meet Fawzia Suleiman, whose family lost their home to the flood when she was only 9 years old. Once the dam was completed, what effect did it have on your family and the other Nubian people? Did it cause your family pain, distress? Did it make her sad to have to move her family?
لما حصل ان انتوا تهجرتوا، يعني هل حسيتي مثلا ان عيلتك اتأثر؟
أثرنا ولا حاجه احنا بعد ما جينا استلمنا الاراضي
She's saying that the benefits of the high dam more than anything they lost there.
وزرعناه يعني الفلاحين العاديين عندنا تبعنا
There is no pain for her family for moving from the ancient Nubia to the modern Nubian villages. She's very happy because now she has the chance to educate, to learn, and her children are in the school learning.
That's good.
And she hopes that she will learn like them one day.
But do you miss? Now I'm confused. She wasn't supposed to say that. She was supposed to be against the dam. But there's a policeman in the background.
في يعني دايما بيحصل لي انا لما بعمل لقاءات مع الناس كتير بتوع بلدنا هنا لما باجي في ناس بيقعدوا اسمعيني في ناس بيزعلوا في ناس حتى بيقعدوا لما بيفتكروا الحاجات دي بقى.
This nice lady clearly has been programmed by the security police that are outside protecting us from terrorists or the threat of terrorism to say that building the dam was the greatest thing in her life, when in fact it was devastating to her and to her family and to her neighbors, all of whom were forcibly removed and dumped in this makeshift village. Once the policeman leaves, Fawzia calms down. The older people, did it upset them? Did it make them angry? Did it hurt them when they were forced to move?
قولي لي يا فوزية، الناس الكبار يعني لو فاكرة ساعتها أيام التهجير كده الناس الكبار
الحاجات كلها اللي نزل بالركايب واللي نزل.
She says that most of the old people during moving they were crying and saying goodbye our land, or afialogo in the Nubian language. Afialogo.
Afialogo?
Afialogo, yes. That's mean afialogo baladani, goodbye our land.
كل حاجة. كل حاجة.
She says she missed everything.
It's become clear to me that I'm not going to find ancient Nubia here in Egypt.